There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Since yesterday, and it is today and forever. There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever. There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever.
We are Biafra. We love Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. I say we are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We show the whole world how much we love Biafra, our beloved father's land. We love and cherish. We will show the whole world how much we love Biafra, our beloved father's land. We love and cherish. Biafra's story is the most touching and painful story in the world. Biafrans have been killing every day and night, but nobody is talking. Everywhere silent. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Hey, we said we are Christians, but we do nothing to help the Biafrans. When they are killing Biafrans, we done nothing to help them. Whether you help or not, we Biafran, we stand and protect our land, because we love Biafra. We will die for Biafra. Oh, we are Biafrans. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We love Biafra. Our father's land. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. We are Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We love Biafra. Our father's land. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. I I'm a Biafran. I respect people, but I'm not afraid of them. And I want to use this little opportunity to address those that say that they want to know where I come from. Nenu in Obingwa, Abia State, and my mother comes from ONYIBE. I'm a man that believes what my father used to say. Mberede nyini dike, mberede keji amadike, mberede nyini. My father always used to say. We are Biafra. We love Biafra. We love Biafra. Our father's land. Yeah. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. We are Biafra. We are Biafra. We love Biafra. We love Biafra. Our father's land. Yeah. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. Oh. We are Biafra. We love Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. I say we are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We show the whole world how much we love Biafra, our beloved father's land. We love and cherish. We will show the whole world how much we love Biafra, our beloved father's land. We love and cherish. Biafra's story is the most touching and painful story in the world. Oh. Biafrans have been killing every day and night, but nobody is talking. Everywhere silent. Oh. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Hey, we said we are Christians, but we do nothing to help the Biafrans. When they are killing Biafrans, we done nothing to help them. Whether you help or not, we Biafran, we stand and protect our land, because we love Biafra. We will die for Biafra. Oh. We are Biafrans. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We love Biafra. Our father's land. Yeah. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. We are Biafra. We are Biafrans. We love Biafra. We love Our father's land. We love and cherish. We love and cherish. Oh.
Yes, sir. Once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscious people wherever you are all over the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. As always, this is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio Station. Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio Station, as we all know, is the embodiment of pro-Biafran groups who understand the need to come together in a time like this to chart the path ahead of all of us as regard to the Biafran Restoration Project. This very platform is being anchored by Diokpa Uchi Ukafomefo, who hails from Abatete in Anambra State. He's the man who has assured us that under his watch, he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. Like I'll keep on telling our people, I do not expect you to understand the mindset behind those words, but one day you shall. I am George ONYIBE and I come from Agbo. Agbo is in Anyoma province. Anyoma province is in Delta State. I want to use this privilege to acknowledge all the pro-Biafran group who has come together to ensure that the de facto customary government is initiated. I want to thank members of the Biafra Nation Alliance, our administrators across the globe, Board of Trustees. I want to acknowledge all of you, Mazi Bidiubienu, Mazi Okole Mbadike, of course, Mazi Paul Quinkwo, Dr. Okado, Mazi Ongoka. I will have to acknowledge Audio Guinea. I have to acknowledge Chimezie. I have to acknowledge Agunwanye, Ada Biafra, Odogwu, Chukode, Chinonso. I have to acknowledge all of you, too numerous to mention. And of course, if your name is not mentioned, understand you are on our heart already. We know all these things. Acknowledge, of course, the indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, because the role they are playing in a modern day Biafra cannot be overlooked. Some of them are on the platform already. What they do is to curse everybody out, insult you. Very soon now they will tell you, you have not given us Biafra by now. We're less than a year here, for God's sake. And even at that, we've been doing this thing in IPOB even before you had that name. It's over a decade now. Nnamdi Kanu, who can choose to play God, can't give you Biafra even over a decade counting. But yet you expect us to do miracle. But the world know that Mkpurumiri is what is disturbing all of you, because a full-fledged grown-up man and woman like you, here on this social media, here on this platform, distracting our people from getting sense. You turn everybody to zombies so you can control us at will. You do not have moral standing to talk down on anybody, because you have become worse than the very Nigerian, which is an epidemic to all of us. I must acknowledge you, indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu. You people have succeeded in destroying almost every instrument that would have given us Biafra very fast. But some people say, you got to move on, you got to forget about them. We're not going to forget about anybody. And of course, we got to move on. And as we move on, we tell the story how we overcome. How did we get here? I see 2015 being repeated before our very eyes. It's a shame. We're supposed to have passed this stage by now. But you people, most of you people will not listen to advice. Of course, you are a career freedom fighter. You have PhD in lying, lyimotology, you You cannot deceive a whole nation. Bob Marley say you can fool some people sometime, but you cannot fool the people all the time. We will make them see the light. That is why we are here. This having been said, I must acknowledge genuine men and women across the globe. You are not a Biafran, but you understand our position to be removed, completely separated from the Nigerian state. You give your support in terms of prayer and otherwise. Understand that your sacrifice will not be in vain. Those widows and widows, those mothers and fathers who has lost their children, will feel your pain. Those of you whose source of livelihood has been destroyed by Nnamdi Kanu and some criminal element like China Sanwo-Olu and the gangster called US, we can assure you your sacrifice will not be in vain. Just hold on. The light will shine on you. We feel your pain. We understand you are freed. We just don't want to die, because they send you WhatsApp audio threatening you, and of course it is to be expected. But the truth is that the fate of those they condemn yet. He who is the judge of us all, and that in the end his name alone be glorified, because Biafra will be restored. You must not forget we are Biafrans. You can be from Niger Delta, you are a Biafran. You can be from Igodomigodo, you can be from Idu-Igbo. Whatever you choose to be, lower Niger, upper Niger, bottom Niger, sideline Niger, you can deceive yourself for all we want or all you can. We are Biafrans. The day you remove that name, those who die in vain. I can just imagine 3 million people dying because of the name Biafra, and you are telling me it's a con name. Even the Jewish Holocaust did not carry the weight of blood like that of Biafra. And if something is wrong about it, we cannot deny ourselves. It is like the issue of black. Black have suffered the greatest humiliation known or imaginable to Homo sapiens, and nobody can talk about it. We just ignore it. We blame ourselves for it all. Just like the same thing we encounter in Nigeria. We are fast to say we are the cause of the problem. I do not play the game of indulgence. And somewhere along the line, let us answer a British country, and then Britain will jump up and down and begin to help us. We are Biafrans. We are Biafrans. Anything outside Biafra or your state for all of you. You see, we have issue, and this to open door why we should have a government, because this thing will have to be debated. I have stand with brothers and sisters, comrade, and being poisoned by China Sanwo-Olu and other criminal elements. Some of them shot by the Nigerian military. I feel their pain on daily basis. I see them, but we cannot help them. And I know none of them die for a donation. And I know none of them is suffering from lower Niger. And I know none of them made the sacrifice they made for any other name other than Biafra. Whatever it is that name carry, we will exploit it. We will trace it to the end. Because you see, Biafra, we must know the mystery behind that. Whatever road you choose to take, understand we are at the end of the tunnel waiting for all of you, betrayers of the next generation of Biafra. And of course, without wasting much of our time, we'll go to our topic this evening, which is simply titled Dominating Our Advantage Space. Dominating our advantage space. When I tuned into the radio this morning, of course, from Biafra land, and I was listening to some of the international news headline, of course, always the same thing. And so we've come in terms with such news. But the one of them this morning touched my heart. and it said $18 million was transferred from diaspora to ISWAP, a terrorist organization who has his branch in Nigeria. They received $18 million US. The money landed in one bank, name was not mentioned, and it was coming from a country in diaspora which name is not mentioned. Your guess could be as that of mine. Is coming from Islamic nation, one of the Islamic nation. $18 million US. This is a terrorist group. It landed in a bank called Nigeria. Imagine if it were coming from Israel to Anambra State. You would have heard that Israel want to destroy Nigeria. Imagine it's one of these Christian nations that sent money to those agitating for Biafra. BBC and CNN, you won't hear this news anyway. Everybody, they will escalate it. And then what are they doing with $18 million US? They want to build company in Nigeria. They want to repair the refinery. It is for arms and ammunitions. It is to equip themselves and further the cause of Islamization. Understanding irrespective of the criminal activities going on in the name of Biafra agitation, because some people saw money and they become career freedom fighter. We must not overlook the issue and the fact that we are the most endangered species. The agenda for Islamization is on the high gear, and these people do not have any intention to withdraw. They want to conquer us, exterminate us, take over our land, but they don't want us as a people. And they will take over our women, and everything you know today will not be there any longer. Just some say it's not possible. My brother, if they can think it, they can achieve it. And so what do? We fold our hands and let these things happen. And of course, we understand these things need to happen. But how ready are we? How prepared are we? My people with so many, we have enough reason why every one of us should go back home. And then let us wait for the inevitable. But people somewhere along the line will have to stand up and fight against evil and put an end to the activities of tyranny. One of my brothers said, we walk in the darkness to serve the light. You will understand what the Jesuits did. You will understand the roles the Musketeers played. You will understand the reason why the Crusaders existed. You will understand why the Knight existed in the first place. They all have to walk in the darkness in order to serve the light. Because sometimes we will wish we have committed a little sin in order to allow truth to prevail forever. But I do not expect you to understand the mindset behind those words, because these are knowledge too deep for you to understand. But we continue pushing, we continue fighting, and so when we are long gone, the next generation can be able to see through the horizon. They will understand that these people did not come to waste their time. We will shield these arrows of evil from them, that in the end God be merciful for them, that they be genuine author of their destiny. But why will still struggle? Why will still work very hard? Why will try to navigate through these challenges, trials and temptation? We cannot fold our hand. In my last broadcast the other day, that should be day before yesterday, Mazubi, they asked me a question which I could not authenticate at that moment. He said the Igbo elders kneel down in Abuja. I said, I do not think they can do that, because that should be the highest level of humiliating the entire Biafran people. And if I thought something like that happened, they must have been quoted out of context. And until this morning, I read the Arewa youth representative analyzing the letter written by some Igbo elders, some Biafran elders, begging for Igbo presidency. If it means for them to kneel down, they will kneel down so that they can be president of Nigeria. these things are happening because we are not in control of our space. Most of us do not even know we have a space that need to be controlled, not to talk of dominating. And so in this broadcast, it is a call to take advantage over our space. This very discussion should not be quoted out of context, because it has the potential to enhance on our condition as a people who found themselves in the context of one Nigeria. It is first of all very important that we understand the implication of the words space. When I say dominating our advantage space, it is important you understand what dominating means. Taking absolute control, total control of the advantage that we have within the space of our territory. And so when we talk about space, space simply means a continuous area of expanse which is free, which is available, or which is unoccupied. Virtually all our space are unoccupied, not to talk of being dominated. But the few we manage to control are almost in disarray and unfortunate. And now let us try to break it down a little bit so that our people can understand what we are saying. It is a continual area or expanse which is free at the same time or available, and it is unoccupied. Such space could be referred to, for example, our social media space. Our social media space, as we all know, is in disarray and very unfortunate. The Yoruba have a social media space and they are making meticulous use of it. The Hausa, Fulani have their social media space and they do not take a chance about it. Go and look at what the Arewa youth leader said, analyzing the letter or appeal coming from one of the Biafran elder. He emphatically overemphasized the idea of kneeling down. He says it's too late. No Igbo presidency 2023. You can begin to apply for God no. Maybe 40 years later, not now. And of course, after this 2023, most of you will not be here to witness the next presidential election. And then the next generation would have been completely isolated politically because we do not control this space. I was talking about the social media space. Biafrans, on the other hand, you come to our social media space, what did you see? Or what do you see? You see some group of individual, they are busy cursing everybody. You see some group of individual, according to one of my brother, they are busy telling him we are doing enjoyment. The other side of our social media space, you are seeing some group of rasicants, only God knows where they come from. They're busy telling you, we will kill you if we catch you outside. If you don't sit at home, we will behead you. We are known gun men. We are known gun women. They are threatening everybody. Our social media space. What we are doing at this moment is not what we are supposed to do. Our social media space is completely in disarray and very unfortunate. This is the time we have to convert this space, dominate this space, bring about information, bring about awareness to our people. It is not just about everybody having access to it and so we abuse it. we need to dominate it. We talk about our political space. The only reason why we have to beg, allow us to be president now, allow us to be president now. What do you want to do there? Considering the position we have placed ourselves, what are you going to do there in the end? You have to beg because you do not control your political space. You can't even be our governor except there is a level of compromising in certain areas. When we look at our economic space, we don't control it. And sometimes I begin to wonder, the discussion between Kule and Adamu Farouk, they said they will make sure Igbos will not import drugs again. They don't hide their feeling. We will ensure Igbos does not import drugs again. We will take our people from the north. We will lift those drugs. We'll be doing the business of Igbo. We do not control our economic space. And sometimes I begin to wonder, where are Enzo? Where is Enzo Pharmaceutical that was almost responsible for the imposition of 90% of the pharmaceutical drugs in Nigeria? Where did they go to? Where is Beto Smith? Everybody was shouting Obi Kubano, Obi Kubano. Since DSS arrested him, does it not cool down? Only very few people. And of course, a certain level of compromise need to take place for them to remain relevant. And so economically, you can be very wealthy Biafrans. It takes a phone call, they will destroy everything about you. Have you heard about anybody talking about Rubin Dangote? He's a businessman. He's a businessman. We are not businessmen. When you talk about our religious space, we do not have control over it. Who are we in terms of religion? These are vital areas of our life that we have neglected in time past. We are too intelligent, too knowledgeable to see them as if it doesn't matter. But if you can't control it, how can you dominate it? And if you cannot dominate it, you will continue struggling from struggle to struggle. And there is need for us to reinitiate strategy to control all of this space. Look at our religious space. Who are we? Pagan? Even as pagan, do we control that space? You know, one of the reasons why unknown gunmen and ESM fail with all their charm, they were shot anyhow and killed anyhow. People like Foreign and Rabbi Charles were jumping up and down. ODAC, ODAC, ODAC. Those native doctors you go to give you ODAC, most of them are the ones selling you. Because most of you does not know that Nigeria has registered all our native doctors, all our herbalists. And so when you go to them, they betray you. Why? Because we don't control those spaces. We joined IPOB. We understand the importance of having religion identity. We followed Nnamdi Kanu to do Arabasirian, or is he Yehudian? I really don't know what we are doing. Whether it is Arabatarian, whether it is Yehudian, whether it is Shabbatarian, I just don't understand. But we all have to put blanket in our head to see if we can control our religious space. But we saw greater evil that beats our imagination. From Arabatarian we went to Aruchiku. From Arabatarian we went to Shrine. Are we now idol worshippers or we are Elohua worshippers? We don't control our religious space. We come to Christianity. As far as you are Igbo man, as far as you are a Biafran, there are limits to the level of control you have. If the Fulanis, those who control the Nigerian space, have interest in Christianity, none of you will exist. But even at that, go and look at the head of religion in Nigeria. It is a Muslim man. The Sudan of Sokoto is the religious godfather of Adeboye. He's the religious godfather of Oni of Ife. He's the religious godfather of Igwe Kana of Biafra land. He is the religious head of Amanyanabo of Wanini. We don't control our space. And come to think about it, we do not have legible men of God who can control our people. And so we are religious slave. But you won't understand. And when I say, oh, it's Antichrist, my brother, I am a reverend. And so we are not ignorant of the devices of the enemy. Let us proceed so that I will not lay more emphasis on that. When we talk about taking advantage, dominating our advantage space, I need you to know the area we are going to, because we are going to analyze them one after the other, and hopefully God will give us the enablement to initiate most of this plan so that our people can be truly empowered. We cannot open up everything here on this social media. So much to be done, because we will not be the ones invading our privacy by ourselves. We do not control our cultural space. Before our very eyes, our cultures and tradition are being wiped out. We don't notice it. Culturally, we are gone. Culturally. But of course, I give it to those who understand the need to preserve their culture. I give it to them, because some people are working very hard to make sure they preserve. But somebody is saying, how does it help us? It does help us. It does help us. When I come, I say we are Biafra. We must find out what is in that name. Until we understand what we are running from that name, it is not proper to begin to change it. His name was Jacob. He's some planter. He understands the implication of that name before it was changed to Israel. And so when you ask him, why did you change your name from Jacob to Israel? He will tell you, my name has affected my life in so many ways that I'm a Yahoo child of God. And so he has to change it. So why are you changing Biafra? You don't even know. Opigo did not give the name Biafra. He suggested it. And of course, with his level of academic exposure and exploit, I wish they were alive to give us more details why that name was resurrected. I wish Nigerian did not stop history. You would have known why there is bite of Bonnet, there is bite of Benin, and you want to tell me that bite of Bonnet, bite of Biafra in Bonnet Island is evil. Then bite of Benin in Cotonou is holy. Let us stop deceiving our people. Let us stop getting involved in matter greater than us, because the truth must come out. What am I trying to say in effect here? Culturally, we do not control our slave. You will not understand. To you, it means nothing. The power of every living creature is tied to their name. The first assignment given to man is give them name. And one of the greatest weapons of undoing the African nation is change of name. These people virtually change all our name. Why are they changing all our name if it doesn't mean anything? The first assignment given to Adam was to give every animal, everything God created, name. And the Bible say, or my people say, can we check what we're from? That it doesn't mean. And then leadership space. It was destroyed. Do we still have leaders? Where are they? Leadership space. There were leaders in those days who stand for truth, fairness, justice and equity. Do they still exist now? Do we have leaders? Leaders are not those who answer the name. Leaders are those who will stick out their neck to protect their own people. Considering some of these abnormalities happening all around us, ranging from economic subjugation down to high level of political subjugation, total deprivation, sponsorship of terrorism, even by international community against the people of Nigeria, to mention but a few. We are no longer in doubt that Nigerian setting is heading towards a calamitous end, and if the necessary machinery is required for revamping a nation is not put in place, for example, considering the request of many consensus groups who are demanding for restructure, devolution of power, constitutional review or amendment, regional autonomy, the Bill of Rights, and the resource control, which has fallen on deaf ears for a very long time. It is important that we understand the need for all of us to control our space in the midst of this uncertainty. We have to consider so many aspects of control on this very discussion. First of all, our economic space. Which we have agricultural space, commerce and industry space, which involve in transfers of goods and services from one person or entity to another, often in exchange for money. Having considered some of these challenges, abnormalities happening, if we must be able to survive what is to come, we must control our space. Like I said, tonight we review, first of all, we look at agricultural space. Under the economic space, we must be able to control our economic space. And under the economic space, we have first of all agricultural space. Our agricultural space. I will throw more light there. Tomorrow we continue on that same point and further the discussion. When you look at economic space, it could be divided into two. Under the economic space, you have agricultural space, you have commerce and industry. Let us look at the agricultural space. We have farmers of rice in Ebonyi State, Enugu State, Benue State. I understand as a child, I remember as a child, what we hear all the time is Abakaliki rice, Abakaliki rice. Do we still have them? And so from Abakaliki, they were producing rice that was serving beyond the eastern region, the midwestern region, even to other parts of Nigeria. Today, what happened to that agricultural space? We lost it. Systems were indirectly initiated and put in place, which discouraged farmers from doing what they ought to do. Benue State is referred to as food basket of the nation. This was not just a slogan, but what the people represent. But today, more than 70% of Benue youth are not even in Benue. Everybody has gone out. There are a lot of factors that are hindering those activities. And each time we fail in terms of agriculture, our enemy feed us. We used to hear about Bende Gari all over Nigeria. We farm Gari. We used to hear about Ikwiri Gari. It's not as if others don't have Gari, but we specialize on them. Today, Gari has become one of the most expensive commodity in the market. And so where are those youth? We're losing control over our agricultural slave. Very soon you will be hearing Hausa Gari or Fulani Gari. And they are going to use the media to dominate that aspect. They will tell you it contains vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin D, so a folic acid. And you will abandon our own. Very soon we will be, in fact, some people are importing China Gari already. Japanese Akpu. And it's convenience. Those who steal money. Oh, this is China Gari, as if China know what Gari is. But they are selling it for us. And so on daily basis, agricultural space, we lose it. And the more we lose them, the more the enemy controls us. The more the enemy feeds us. You can imagine a trailer carrying onions was attacked. And onions association dealers said they won't give you onions and tomatoes again. What a shame. We have our own tomatoes. What happened to it? They wake up one day, they say no more onions for you. What a shame. Our land can grow onions. Why are we not in control of our agricultural space? We are losing it gradually. Something happened recently. I decided to make a farm, a sugarcane plantation. I went around gathering different species of sugarcane. I have about 4 different species of sugarcane in that plantation, because I know some of them have high sugar content than the other. The sugarcane from Delta State that I know has more sugar content than the Hausa sugarcane. But I have to sample all of them in that farm. But let me tell you what happened. Every other species, the ones you see in Biafra, the ones you see in Delta, the ones you see from the north, I sampled all of them. I want you to go to market, those of you in Biafra land, go and study Hausa. They make sure that their sugar cane, that their black sugar cane will not grow anywhere. When they are bringing it from their place, they destroy, I don't know what they call it in biology, those stumps where it's supposed to grow, they destroy all of them. You know, I have to call home, village, and say, I need this sugar cane. They sent some to me. Every other sugar cane is growing. As I'm talking to you now, it refused to grow. I have said it in one of my programs. In my village, we don't sell orange or mango or fruit to Hausa people since the 80s. Because before, they used to come and buy those fruits. Any orange they climb will die. It won't produce the next year. It's applicable to every other fruit. And what do you think they are trying to do? If I cannot plant Awusa sugarcane in my own land, because somebody deliberately makes sure you don't have it, don't you think somebody is trying to control you agriculturally? And a lot of factors are in place that is making our youth to run away. Some of them will farm. Means of transportation becomes a challenge. Some of them will try to organize farm. Fulani herdsmen, cattle rearers will destroy their farm. The worst part of it is that there is no market strategy. There is no market control. And so you end up spending one full year in the forest, farming, cultivating. You will not get any support from the government. In terms of mechanized farming, we're still farming like the ancient men. And when you manage to bring out those crops, there is no market to sell it. And so somebody will come and then buy a tuber of yam from you to 200. And the same person will take it to another location and sell it 1,000. And so why will I farm? I'd rather wait for others to farm, and then I buy it cheap rate and then go and sell it at an exorbitant price. And you see, if all these things are not placed under check, if all these things are not being monitored, you cannot control your agricultural space, not to talk of dominating it. Do we still have Gari Bendel? Do we still have Ikuri Gari? Do we still have Zakembia Otoyam? Do we still have Abakaliki rice? Do we still have tomatoes? To mention but a few. But our youth are jumping up and down. Those who are doing inside the bush. Inside that bush, you could turn it to farm. Inside that bush, you can change, make fortune and change the life of many. Hunger is everywhere. But we have the land. We have the skill. Should I say we have the technical know-how? But it's not working. While we are looking for Biafra, let us not overlook some of this area. We need to control all our space. That is the essence, one of the essence of initiating the customary government of Nigeria. I mean the customary government of Biafra. These are some of the reasons. Our youth need to be empowered. They need to be encouraged. They need to be supervised. They need to send them back. Somebody left China and come to Nigeria here to do farm. And very soon, we'll be going to do labor for them. They will give us coverall, give us crash helmet, safety boots. We look like we are doing white collar job, and then we still become second-hand infidel in the things we can do. If these things were introduced, it will open about doors for further innovation. Technology advancement will take place, but that will be a discussion for another day. And so, in an effort while we are working hard to ensure that Biafra is restored, we need to meticulously put facilities in place to control all this space. One of the greatest weapons that was used on the generation of 1967 and 1970 is hunger. 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 We are not in a war situation. We're not fighting war yet. But there is hunger everywhere. It should not be so. We encourage our youth to come forward. The restoration of Biafra is not a do or die affair, but it is a must. While we systematically put facilities in place that will enable us restore Biafra through the Montevideo Declaration, my brother, our youth need to be empowered. Do you know how to know those fighting for Biafra? You start looking for them by looking at those men who are comfortable. They are comfortable, but yet they are fighting for the restoration of Biafra. That is how to begin to know genuine people. I see some people, they are very comfortable, but the love of Biafra makes them to risk their life, move out of their comfort zone. If you are a Biafran youth, a lot of program is going to come up across Biafra land. We cannot begin to blow our trumpet here on the social media, and that is why we keep encouraging you. Join the de facto customary government. Here in Biafra Nation Alliance, we are coordinating our people already. Whatever you know you can do for us to control our agricultural space, this is the time. Like I said, we cannot open everything here, but get ready. Get ready. Get ready. This is not about business. This is about controlling this space. Let us have excess food that we waste. Did you know one of the first thing the Jewish people did when they returned to Israel? Their land is stone, not very fertile. They introduce irrigation farming system, and I'm sure they are not importing any fruit or crops from anywhere in the world. They plant in the desert. Technological innovation found its way into their agricultural sector. We are still counting season here in Africa, but they plant round the clock because they can regulate the water. They can regulate the weather. I have access to a documentary program for a Jewish farmer who focus on planting of plantation. These plantain were all connected to a laptop that regulates everything about this plantain. They improved its capacity in terms of production. We cannot dream of this kind of innovation when we don't go to farm. We cannot go to farm when at the end of the day there is no market, no road for transportation, among other challenges. And now here on Biafra Nation Alliance, we will help fill some of this gap. Your expertise will be required, and of course we want to believe God that in the end we control our agricultural stuff, and then we can begin to hear about Zakimbia yam, Otwo yam, Obaru yam. Most of you don't know the yam the Hausa people sell for us is Hausa yam. It's planted in Obaru, back of River Niger. Year in, year out, they continue harvesting yam. All the time you see new yam. It's coming from Anambra. Most of them. And so it's not just about shouting, we want Biafra, we want Biafra. A lot of things need to be put in place, because the way we are now, if we do not organize ourselves properly, even the restoration of Biafra will become the beginning of another unpleasant situation, which will be worse than the Nigeria we are running from. And so, Biafran youth, this is the time for you to begin to see how you can dominate agricultural space. Remember, it has two categories. This is just under economic space, dominating our economic space. First of all, we dominate the agricultural sector, and second of all, we will look at the cost, areas of commerce and industry. Of course, by the grace of God, we will look at that tomorrow, and then we'll proceed. For agriculture, let's not be lazy. Let us not be lazy youth, according to Buhari. Let us begin to get ready and see how we can be able to control our agricultural space. A lot of things is going to come up when these plans are properly initiated. But until then, we leave it at that. Our lines are open, and you are free to call in and make your own contribution. Do not forget, we are on FM 100.5. At this moment, you can receive it from some part of River State within Obiakpo and Ikuri local government. You can receive it from Anambra State within Obaru, Tere, Mpo, and its environ. In Delta State, you can get it within the head bridge to Nzene Junction. And of course, we are on app, we are on Simple Radio, we are on satellite, and of course our administrators are all around the world. You can contact them through our social media platform, Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. And better still, you can contact any of our administrators, mobilizing officers across the continent. Do not be shy. Tell them what you want. A lot of people are coming up. They complain, they tell us their problem, their challenges, and we're doing our best. Our people around the world, without making noise, are doing their best. Those of you who need document, those of you who have something reasonable to do, understand nobody is deceiving anybody here. Your matter will be looked into. Those who have solution to your problem already will make themselves available, and then tomorrow you become a solution to other people's problem. And then when everybody is fully ready, when all of us are strong, we can move ahead. Our lines are open. The direct line is 081 221 52971. The direct line once again is 081 221 52971. Our WhatsApp line is 070 815 456 42. 070 815 456 42. And of course, if you cannot access this line and you have access to any of my social media platform, you are free to call in through those link. The lines are open, and I will be back in a minute.
Me and what we do without my Biafra. Me and what we do without praising the flag. I know we do without my fatherland. I must to fight and defend my father's land. Imana Biafra na uyo. Onya bona malugo. Apa to be a potato, si Biafra bukayo. Biafra na ma original. Onya bona malugo. Apa to be a potato, si Biafra na uyo. Now I can see my new nation Biafra rising. I'm feeling good, very high. No matter what them do, they cannot bring us down. They be killing us for so long, loving our women they for so long, selling our resources for too long. Oh my father, we don't know what to do, what's going on. We need the freedom to carry on. Give us the power to overcome. Oh my father, we don't know what to do. We want to be on our own. Our home is our own. Hapununu kaila wanuo. We want to be on our own. Our home is our own. Onya bona malugo. Apa to be a potato, si Biafra bukayo. Biafra na ma original. Onya bona malugo. Apa to be a potato, si Biafra na we own.
Is the right, don't give it up. Now when you fight, you go carry up. Never pick up the piece of a broken heart and bring them together to see it grow you go up. On the right, then we are the back. Then you know this sayera ya kunu bachu koda ma biko benai, larai, kodai dombu wa ya gadiga. Akona fugo na ndizo shara in happen. Ketia bayara ne kita tipo happy. Zuru de sasi se reveni be ya fia dane sasi be ya dane kuku paraya. Oye si ya banu maga banu ya, oye si panu zelo ya gazelo ya.
Chuko kike.
Right, and then when you see, but this time around I get easy. Make up for winter and I want to go.
We want to be on our own. Our home is our own. We want to be on our own. Our home is our own. We want to be on our own. Me and no fit do without praising the flag. I no fit do without my fatherland. I must to fight and defend my father's land. Imana Biafra na we own you. Onya bona malugo. Aba to be a kwetego, si Biafra bukayo. Biafra na ma original. Onya bona malugo. Aba to be a kwetego, si Biafra na we own you.
Yes, of course, Biafra is our origin. And of course, like we are saying, the people of Biafra must get ready. In every area, we must get ready. Because what is about to come, most of us cannot be able to foresee. It's not about trying to get involved in armed struggle. No, the people must be ready. And by now, I believe those who think it's by armed struggle, it is dawning on all of you. Because a lot is involved. A lot is at stake. The people who are actually working against us as a nation, they are prepared. They control virtually all their space. They do. It is easy for them to rise up at any time, make decision, and they have their way. Who feeds the Biafrans? Who feed the Biafrans? Honestly, Who feeds the Biafra? Call on WhatsApp, just hold on for me. Can you hear me? Call on WhatsApp. Good evening from here.
Good evening, sir.
You're welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, Biafrans. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on your time zone. So this is your brother once more, Dogwawele, and I hail from Anyoma province of Biafra land. And I'm also the Asian Mobilizing Administrator for the Asian continent. Just want to commend you on the work you are doing so far for enlightening our people, bringing our people back to the fundamental things we should be doing as a people. Some of the freedom or the freedom we have, but we're not making use of it, which is agriculture. Nobody is stopping us from doing those things. But what are we doing today? Some of our brothers have now pushed our people into taking the or in the name of doing men in the bush. This is one of the things we should be encouraging our youth to go. Learn a trade, go to farming, because farming is part of the ultimate in the world economy today. Any country that can feed themselves can boast, yes, that they are free indeed. So I want to encourage our brothers and sisters. Don't think farming is just for poor people. No, you can't tell me that in India that are farming that we will have the poor people. But today, madam, coming to our place now to buy hundreds of acres of land they go to very typical rural area and buy it at very cheap rate, and now they are not the ones cultivating what we are buying. They determine the market price of our goods now. The food we eat, the Indians, Chinese, they are the ones doing it now for us, determining how much they are going to sell food prices to our people because we left all those things. Myself speaking, actually, I can cultivate all except only yam. Any other type of I can plant yam, cassava, pepper, garden egg, name it, potatoes. I can plant all from seedling. For only yam, I don't know how to do vegetables. In fact, actually, myself, I say when I grow old, I would like to go back to village and do all this little garden in my place that will be eating fresh food. So this one should be enlightening our people, not drinking doing the Yahoo boy. No, the real money is in our place there. Soil, we have our own land there. But what are you doing now? They sell the land off to strangers, and now strangers are the ones that are gradually taking our place, and some of you are in the bush fighting unknown enemy, killing your brothers and sisters when you name of saboteur. Please come out from the bush. Your supreme leader is hiding in the DSS dungeon, whatever, because the address is still very controversial. All that time you came out, everybody should give land to the people want to start farming. Because you heard some people want to do something, you want to hijack it. Now, is he doing the farming? It's one of the things. Some of you guys that he has deceived you long. Is he doing farming now? Or he told every community must give us land that want to farm? Because he always like to hijack. He heard people want to do the thing he went ahead to do. And he hijacked everything. He didn't do it. So please, brothers and sisters, farming is the part of ultimate. Let me tell you, the rice you eat, the foreign rice you are clamoring for, that is coming from Thailand. Do you know that rice was taken from India? This was from an Indian, he's a lecturer. So he told me himself that in Thailand we are coming to India to study agriculture. study it. That rice they are doing, it was in India. They took their soil sample, the same way Malaysia took our soil sample and our palm oil. They took all the samples and went to their place and experiment those things, took it to lab and did everything. Today, what are we saying? You want to rub the carotite or whatever. Do you know those things are from the palm oil? That's why they do all those cream you see. Whatever organic or whatever they name they call it. The liquid soap, all of them is from palm oil. These are the things our people should go in. The agriculture is part of it. If you can't feed a nation that can't feed itself, the nation that feed you will control you. Thomas Sankara said it, he who feeds you controls you. So this part of part of the space you have to occupy as we clamor for political space also, because we need to occupy political space. And those in politics are government, politicians, senators. You have to support our local farmers. They have to mechanize them, not giving them hoe and cutlass. That is not empowerment. Empower them more. Subsidize the way they buy all those the yams, the plants, the cassava stem, the seedling, subsidize it. That's all our Ministry of Agriculture. Every local government has it also, and also at the state level. This is one of the things those who send here should be doing for our people. Our people have suffered enough. Now it's time for you to invest in them. At least for just do this for our people. All of us have suffered enough. Please invest in our people agriculturally. We are not saying give them millions, but give them subsidize seedlings so they can plant at least, and also need to create a market for them, build roads, and also electricity. This is all we are clamoring for. At least somebody who planted, who cultivates tomatoes, peppers, all those fresh fruits. They need a space where they can store those things, so those perishable goods don't get spoiled. So this is all we clamor for as our politicians, as our leaders. The era we fight and rant is gone, but this time around we have to hold you to account. And this one of the I tell some of my brothers said, even Fulani you are calling, that's not your problem. You have to charity begins at home. Our politicians, they receive their allocations every month. They are not owing them. So this year we should start holding them to account. Our senators receive their own I forgot what it's called. So this they should start using those money to reduce our people allocation, brother. Thank you, Jobba. So this is why they should be using those things to invest in our people instead of calling Buhari. Let's start from our own governors first, local government chairman, councillor. They should start doing something. Not every month they just relax. They don't even plan how do they generate more money for their people. They don't even move go like to draw in more investments into their states. They just relax and receive allocation. It's not good. This is why we have to take political space, take over our political space first in Biafra land only first. Then we control those things. We hold anybody we vote into account. But let me wait for other people to call in and make their own contribution.
Thank you very much for your contribution this evening. We must be able to control our space. In other words, we should be in control of our territory in so many ways. But on daily basis, ignorantly, we are losing this space. We are after that which does not really matter. The most important facilities that need to be installed for us to be able to engage those that need to be engaged, they are not there. They are not there. Biafran youth must get ready. The era of protest is gone. The era of shouting is gone. Ranting is gone. This is time for meticulous planning. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, ONYIBE.
You're welcome.
Good evening from here.
You're welcome to the program. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, dear fans and all lovers of freedom all over the world. This is Mazanko once again. After listening to the presentation of our great leader, Dr. George ONYIBE, this evening I don't know the adjective to qualify the state of mood that I am this evening. This very particular presentation is pure, and that is the only thing we need to do in order to get hold of ourselves and talk about our freedom. Because all these things, I used to tell people that all these things we are relying on the Hausas and Fulanis to feed tomato, onions, carrot, and all the rest of them. We can't talk about our freedom. Look at what is going on today. We are talking about the Fulani herdsmen invaders disturbing our crops in the farms. Yet we are the highest patronizing, the highest people that patronize the Fulani herdsmen. In Biafra land today, every burial you must see cow, if not 3-4. Go to so many churches today, almost every week they are killing cow and all the rest of them. Even the goat that we are using to do things now is that of Hausa. We no longer have Igbo goat and all the rest of them. But yet we are talking about getting out of these people. You know, we are not planning to get out. We are only talking by mouth. I told people that the only thing we can do to survive this Hausa Fulani cattle areas, number one was that we must stop patronizing them. We have a feeble. Let people who has money, and even today, Igbo people are now venturing into that Fulani cow in so many places. You know, why not those people put that money in the Igbo cow and make it be more abundant to people to buy? Because when things is so many everywhere, the price will go down for people to buy. You know, 1 year, like around 2019 December, I was in a village called what do you call it, in Enugu State. I have forgotten the name of that village. If you see the kind of rice those people produce, you will even swear that it's foreign rice. You see different species, you see different color, you see different type of rice. I keep asking, how did they succeed in doing all this rice? You know, exactly like foreign rice, the species, all of them. It was too wonderful. But what are we lacking? A kind of help, something like giving farmers, giving them grants to farm, giving them loan, making things possible for them, bringing area where there is no water, you bring in dam and all the rest of them. They will be farming without ceasing. But look at what our politicians are doing. Look at what our people that maybe that felt that they have the money, look at what they are doing. Instead of them to help you, they will use the money to throwing for chieftaincy title all over the place, so UFE, this and that, all of them, you know. Look at the one that they did in Oba last time by Obi Kubana. Almost 300 and something cow was brought to that place, and all this cow is Hausa cow. Yet you are talking about Hausa Fulani invading your farmland. Why wouldn't they invade your farmland? Because you patronize them. You cannot tell somebody who sells groundnut to stop going to where he or she used to sell his or her groundnut every day. Even if there is fight in that place, you see him sneaking to sell because people in those areas patronize him. You know, immediately we stop patronizing these people, especially on that their cow. We flee out of our area because the reason they come here is they graze and they also sell it. You can't see them going back with their cow. You only see them coming with it. You can't see them going back with it. You know. But if it is for them to come here, they see by they go back with it, they won't come again. So this is the problem. And by that time, they will know that the Biafran people has determined to have their freedom. All over Biafran land is known by famine. All over village. There was a time I went to Delta State. I even start telling the person that I went there with that this place looks like my village. The system of their farming, the system of their doing things look like my village. I don't know whether we have relationship or something like that. You know, everywhere was farming system and all the rest of them. You know, so these are the things we must make our youth to start looking to. Not giving them gun to go and start living in the bush, maybe looking for somebody to kill, looking for one native doctor, moving from one native doctor to another in order to get themselves fortified by audacia and all the rest of them. This thing cannot help us. It will only end up in building all manner of banditry group and all the rest of them. And by the time these people start disturbing, like as you are looking at this time around, we are just now is still morning. By the time these boys that these people are asking go to the bush carry gun, by the time they started unleashing mayhem, everybody will be shouting. I don't know that it will be like this, because in Igbo adage that says that all these ikunye nwemmiri, but there is in Ataiko, because whoever you give gun today, tomorrow you may not be in position to collect that gun back from that person, and you may not know exactly what he or she may have been doing with that gun. But if you empower a youth today to go into farming, by the next 1 year you see that person employing 1 or 2 persons into that farm. Before the years run down, you see that person employing 10 people. In the time of Simon Bakwe in Imo State, he opened so many farm companies like Adapalm and all the rest of them. Adapalm today is still producing palm oil. It's still producing palm nut and all the rest of them. Even I heard that when Rochas came in as a governor, he gave out the company to another company as loan or something like that, you know. But since he served 8 years, he couldn't set up a kind of ordinary cashew or pineapple company to be producing pineapple and be selling to the people and all the rest of them. So my people, this analysis of our ONYIBE today is very wonderful, and every human being who listens to this broadcast today will never remain the same. In fact, as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm thinking of how to set up one farming business or another. In fact, I'm focusing on fishery as I'm speaking to you right now. By tomorrow morning, I will start inquiry on how to go into the business. Maybe by January next year, I may have started it in a low way to see how far and how progressive it will look like. So these are things that we needed. These are 1 million empowerment, because somebody who show you how to do something, whether he or she gives you money or he did not, is the first uplifting of the empowerment. Because if you don't have the knowledge of something, even if you are a millionaire or you are the highest millionaire in the world, you can't venture into that thing until somebody tell you that, look at this thing, look at how to do it, look at how to do it. So I thank you this evening, and I say may God bless you for giving you, may God bless you, and I thank God for giving you this wisdom. The way you talk to us, the way you lecture us, the way you make us to see things, I have never seen anybody that has done such a thing since this struggle started. Even before the struggle started, I don't know if I will call you a lecturer or a teacher or a pastor or whatever, or a prophet. This presentation this evening is exactly what we need, because coming to the political landscape of our area, we lost it. Even the Fulanis decide who be our governor here. They decide who go to Senate, they decide who go to Rep, they decide who go to State Assembly. Look at what happened in Imo State. Immediately they smuggling Hope. All the state house that were dominated by PDP jumped to APC. Why? They were threatened. They were threatened that they must join APC to make sure that nobody will talk about impeaching Hope Uzodinma. The same thing goes all over the state, all over our state. You see somebody telling you, I'm Abuga House of Rep, but he cannot stand up in that chamber to talk in favor of Igbo people or Biafran people. He can't, look at them, all of them, they can't even pass a bill. They can't even do anything. All they are there is to collect their salary, allowances, and all the rest of them. And back home here, they can't even initiate a kind of empowerment program, even this farming that we are talking about, because I know that so many of them is in position to do something like that. They can't even do it. What you see them doing is to creating a kind of a court, using them to stand on the road, collecting money from motorists from one junction to another, like here in Anambra where we live. That is what you see. If you come to Onitsha, buy something, put it in keke, you pay more than 1,000 naira before you get to the park where you will board a motor that will take you to the place that you are going. Even they will even beat you if you don't have money to pay. Who are these people organizing these boys to be doing all these things? The politicians, House of Rep members, State Assembly, and governors. If you come and call radio people, hey, look at what is going on here, and tell the governor, they would, after interview you and everything, nothing will change. At times they do kill people on the road. Highest, when they kill people, highest, they will run for 2 days, 3 or 1 week. You see them back again. At times they do all these things in front of police people. Even as even the policemen themselves, they used to give them their own share. After their business, the police people, they will come and collect their own share. These are what they are doing with our youth. When you see them campaigning, vote for me, I will do this, I will do this, they lie. What they will do is to bring down and destroy our youth. This is the problem we are having in this particular environment we see ourselves. Because the problem we are having now is that our youth are no longer eyeing good things. Our youth, look at the system of this new one that came out of the system recently. I've been asking them, how did that one come? Nobody was able to explain to me. You know, before you could know it, every youth you see is now behaving like a madman. There was a place that I went to work today. One guy that were there, the guy nearly broke my head. Why did I cross where he put whatever he put? I didn't even see what that guy put there. I just crossed to go and do my work. The guy spark and carry a stick to break my head. I told him that if you try that, it's either I die or he will die, because you may feel that I'm getting old. You are a youth, you can get up and start shouting, opening eye on me or something like that. If you are mad, just enter your house and play your madness. You can't play that madness on me. When the woman that called me in that work came, he told me that he has mental problem. I asked the woman, what is the source of the mental problem? He gave me a sign. It's simple me, you know. I now asked the woman, how is he managing to live here? The woman now told me that he's living with his mother. You see, but this is a young man that's supposed to make money and feed his mother. After going to school and everything, he used one substance to make himself mad and come back to the mother. That is the problem we are having here. No orientation, even in the church. Church people, all they know is money. Donate your last card. Donate your sow seed. If you sow seed, the wonder will happen. They will not open their mouth and tell our youth exactly what to do to take care of themselves and their family. You know, so this kind of program, I wish you would be repeating it at least 2-3 times every week. Those who have ears, let them hear. Those who does not have, let them just rubbish their life. There's no problem. God knows that people has been trying their best. People like you has been trying their best to make sure that our society is good. Thank you very much. I will stop here for other people to contribute, and remain blessed.
Thank you very much, my brother. That is a Mazi Onwukwe Wanzi, our Biafra land administrator. And of course, we are inching closer to the end of this program. I must appreciate those of you who took your time to call in. People must remain focused and understand that there is need to dominate, complete dominating all our space. We have tried to make a review on the economic space, which falls into 2 categories. Of course, the agricultural space, we must control it, and then hopefully by the grace of God tomorrow we look into the area of time to prepare. We have time to strategize. We have time to initiate. But the problem is, are we strategizing? Are we planning? Are we initiating? If we move into any premature action, we will suffer greatly for it. Don't let anybody deceive you. The restoration of Biafra is more than mere insult and ranting on Facebook. I sign off from here and I say good night to every genuine Biafran wherever you are across the globe. The journey has just begun. Good night and God be with you.
BIAFRA's Got Talent exclusive.
After this heavy rain, please let the sun rise.
Our lives are in danger, siblings and more that all day long we have been ruled by strangers. Save my life, give us Biafra. We are begging you, please. There's nothing we can do without you. It's only you that will save my life. Chukwu King Biama, you are the one to give us Biafra. We pray, oh, just save the lives. We are your children, save our lives.
We all like sheep has gone astray. Restore our land and heal our hearts.
Save my life,
Save my life, save my life. Almighty Father,
we are begging you, please.
Same thing, living here in the zoo. You up them and set us free. We are begging you.
See my people stay a crying. You up them and we get dying. Save our land, we beg you, Lord.
Tears in my eyes, every day I dey cry. Nothing else I'm asking for, Lord, give me breath before I die. We need a clearer picture, a better future, a better future, the Lord.
Freedom is what we want, nothing more, nothing less. We are tired of the zoo and your wickedness.
save my life, Papa.
Give us Biafra.
We are begging you, please. We are begging you, please. When your kingdom shall come, we will know we are safe. When your kingdom shall come, we will know we are safe. Father, Lord, we lift up our hands to the air now. Chukwu can take all the glory and give it. Send your son to give me life. Send your innocent to give me life.
Give us Biafra.
We are begging, we are begging, we are begging. Hey, we are begging you, please.
Save my life. Give us Biafra. Begging you, please.
Alele bugum, iwe bugum, obia bawagum, ndio chichi
I know you can feel our anguish, but don't let us perish in the hands of our enemies.